Welcome back, Lancers. Today we are back again with another video, and today's video is a programming session on while loop. We have covered the theory part of while loop in our previous video. You can go and watch it all. We have also covered few basic programs on while loop in that video only. Please have a look there. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the video. We are back with VS Code, and our first program is to print factorial using while loop. So let's first include standard.io.h. After that I will write the int main function, and let's just here write the question, which is the factorial of a number. Sorry for the comment, I will use these. Now, so what is factorial? We already know. Let us suppose the input given by the user is n is equals to 5. Then the factorial is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5, or you can say 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. This is what factorial is. Now let's see how to program factorials in while loop. First of all, we will take a value int n and also a iterator I. What is n? N is the number which will be given by the user as an input. So for that I will write printf to get the input from the user, enter the input, and here after that I will ask user to enter, and then I will take the value from the user using scanf %d, and then here I will give the address of n using address operator. Now I have a variable n and I have a value of n. Now I will start our while loop. Our while loop will start something like this, and it will iterate until it becomes 1. Okay, and now before that we have to initialize the value of I. Initialization part in while loop is before while starts. So here we will initialize it, and in this question we have to initialize the value of I as num. Sorry, not num, n. And after that what we will do, we'll just write our while loop factorial part. We have take a fact variable, and then we will just multiply it with I. For that we have to first declare a fact here, and also we will give the value of fact as 1. Now here we will just increase the value of I after each iteration. After that we will just print the factorial. Here I will use %d, and then I will print the fact semicolon to close it. Now you see what is happening. Basically, first of all, let's say the user give the input as n is equals to 5. Then the in while loop I have asked that I is greater than equals to n. As I is initialized with n, here the condition become true. What? The condition become true because yes, now here the condition becomes true because n is n, or you can say I is greater than or equals to 1. So it will increase, fact value is 1, then 1 into 5 it will occur. After that what will happen, I will be increasing, that is, no sorry, here I will not increase, I will decrease. Now what will happen, the value of I become 4. Now after that it will check that is 4 greater than or equals to 1. Yes, the condition is true, that's why it will, the 4 will be again multiplied here to the fact value. After that the value of I becomes 3, and it will again multiply with 3, and after that again this will occur, and this will go something like this, and here we will get our factorial. Now let's just run this program. You have seen it is asking for a value. Let's say I give a 5 as an input. Now factorial is 120. This is what we want to achieve. You can multiply these values, that is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 in the calculator, and you will see that we will get 120 as our factorial. Now let's move to our second question. Our second question is a while GCD problem. So what is GCD? GCD is basically greatest common divisor, that you can also say HCF of that number, highest common factor. Now let's take some example. Let us say we have 12 and 8. So the GCD must be 4, because both are multiplied with 4. Not, and after that 4 there is none of the number. You can say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. None of these number can divide both the numbers. That is why 4 is GCD or HCF of that number. And to program these type of questions, we will use for loop. And let's see how we will use that. First of all, we will include standard.h. After that, int main. Here in the GCD problem, we will just take two values. You see in our example, we have taken two values, 12 and 8. Here we will take two values. We will ask the user to give our values, that is enter the value, and also we will input using scanf. Here we will input in the same line to help us program faster, and we will provide two values, you can say two address to that scanf function. Now we have taken two values, we have taken the input in the two value, we have taken two variables, and we have taken the input in those two variables. Now let us start our while loop. Our while loop will start something like this. We have to iterate until n1 is not equals to n2, and inside our while loop, what we have to do, we have to, if n1 greater than n2, if this is the case, we will do n1 is equals to n1 minus n2. Else what we have to do, else, sorry for that, else we will just do n2 is equals to n2 minus n1. So this is what we will do here, and after that the value of n and n2 will just become the GCD value which we want to print. Now we will just printf GCD %d n1. Okay, now let's just also print the value of n2 to understand this problem in a better way. Now let's just run this program first, and after that we will explain what is happening. You see our program is running, and enter the value. It is asking for the values. Let's say I will give 12 and 8. Let's see, GCD is 4. You see GCD is becomes 4. It was not showing that indented because I have not provided here \n. You can provide. Now let's see what is happening here. First of all, we have taken the value of, now first of all, see what is happening. We have taken two values, n1 becomes 12 and n2 becomes 8. This was what user gave the input. We as a user, we gave the input to the program, and this was what we have given the input. Now after that it will check, is n1 is equals to n2? No, it is not. Then the while loop will be running, because we have asked the n1 not equals to n2. If we have asked n1 is equals to n2, then if it is true, then only the while loop will run. But here if n1 and n2 are not equal, then the program will be running. So yes, n1 and n2 are not equal, so it will check then it will check which one is greater. In our case n1 is greater, so what will happen, n1 will become 12 minus 8, which is 4. After that it will again, and now our value of n1 is 4 and our value of n2 is 8. Now it will again check, is n1 and n2 are not equal. Yes, they are not equal again, so the program will run execute again, and this time you see this condition is true because n1 is not greater than n2. So the else condition will be going on, that is n2 is equals to 8 minus 4 equals to 4. So now our value of n1 is 4, also our value of n2 is 4, and you can see both are equal, then these execution will terminate. And now you see, if we print those values, we were getting 4 as an output, and this 4 only is our answer. We have seen here the HCF of 12 and 18 is 4. You can check and dry run other examples by taking different values of n1 and n2, and you will see you will get the same output, not the same output, that is 4, but this you will get the GCD very fine. Now let's move over to our third question. So our third question is checking a number is prime number or not using while loop. For that, let's just first include standard.h, after that int main. Okay, now what is a prime number? Basically prime number is something numbers like 2, 3, 5, 7. Why? Because these are not divisible by any of the numbers except 1 and the number itself. So now let's just check these. First of all, we will take 3 values, int a, I and f. I will explain each one of them. Okay, let's just take a value first, and then we will ask the user to enter the number. We are taking the number which number is to be checked, and then we will take the number using scanf function. Sorry, yeah, and here a. Okay, now we are taking the number. Now we have to start our iteration part. So for that we will just take a variable I, and we will initialize it here with 2. I will say why I am initializing it with 2. Now after that we will just take a while loop, and we will here give a condition something like this: when I is smaller or equals to a divided by 2. Now we will check the number something like this: if a modulus I equals to 0, then what we have to do, we will take another variable here, f is equals to 0, let's take, and then here we will just change that value, f is equals to 1. This we will use after, and then we will just give a break command, break statement, to just exit this. If now we will give the iteration part I++. After that, if f is equals to 0, then what we have to print? We have to print prime number. Else we have to print not a prime number. Here, now let's just run this program. Now we hit the run button. You see it is asking for a value. For example, let's give 12 for now. You see it is saying not a prime number. Now what we are doing in this program and what the basic function of this program, let's see that. Let's say we are giving the input as 12. Here we are given the input of a is equals to 12. After that, what is happening? It is our value of I is 2. So after that, it is checking, is I smaller than 12? Yes, it is. Not 12, I is smaller than 66 basically, because we are dividing a by 2. Now why we are dividing? Because we have experimented, we found out that after 6, the numbers like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 to 11, after these numbers, after 6, none of the number can divide 12. This is a very basic concept. Let's for example take 36. If we divide it by 2, we get 13. None of the number no, sorry, we don't get 13 in 36. We will get whatever we get, we will get 18 there. And if we will take any number after 18, none of the number can divide 36 with a whole value as an output. Again, let's take an example of 6. We divide it by 3, and then none of the numbers like 4 and 5 will be not divide 6. Now again, take example of an odd number, something like 7. We will not 7, let's take example 9. If we divide it, what we will get? It will get 4, because we are using the division symbol, not the percent symbol. So if we divide it, and then what we will see? We will see that here also after 4, none of the number can divide, none of the number will divide 9. You see, 9 is divisible by 3, not it is not divisible by 5, 6, 7, 8, none of them. So this is a very basic understanding, and we have seen these, we have found out these with many experiments and examples. Now we have taken a is equals to 2, which is divided by 6, which becomes 6 after division. Now I is checked that I is equals to or smaller than 6. Yes, it is. Then what is happening? A is checked by I. Is it divisible by I? If it is divisible by I, then flag, that is f value, will increase to 1, and in the break statement will exit this while loop. Else if this is not true, then I++ will execute, that is the value of 2 becomes 3, and then 3 is checked that it is divisible by 2 or not. And after that again, if it is false, then 4 will be checked. And if any of the number is divisible, you see any of the number satisfy this condition, that is this become true, f will increase to 1 and a break statement is executed, so that the while loop will terminate. And after the termination of while loop, we will get to this if else statements, and in this if else we will check the value of f. If f is equals to 0, that is none of the number was able to divide a, then it is a prime number, else it is not a prime number. Very simple concept, very simple algorithm. Just listen to our tutorial again if you didn't understand that. Now let's run this program again, and let's give an input here, something like 19, and check it is a prime number. You see, it is running perfectly fine. I'll provide the link for every one of these programs, so please go to that and understand the concept very clearly. So here, now let's just wrap this video with this. Thank you for watching. Peace.